And we are live. Thank
Hey,
you.
welcome. Thank you.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you again for joining us for another edition of our Love and Revelations podcast. We try to bring content to you at least once a week, ideally twice a week, and then we choose to bring you materials that are not necessarily relationship advice related or experience related, but we want to bring you content about places, people, and journeys that we've taken as a part of our relationship.
Yes.
So it's an all-encompassing type of show that we want to bring to you under the Swancentric media catalog. So tonight's show is called The Megiddo Show. Why would I call this show The Megiddo Show? Well, I can tell you the Megiddo Show is something that I wanted to do because um, coming from the United States and coming from the southern area of the United States, which is what we call the Bible Belt, many of our churches, southern churches, often have a topic that they teach on Armageddon. Armageddon is a term that I've heard all my life, ever since I was a child. Frankly, the word scared the daylights out of me. There were horror movies that came out in the 70s. The one that I can really remember is The Omen, in which the, uh, the son of the devil was he had some ties to Megiddo. So I first heard the name Megiddo back in the late 70s, early 80s, but I didn't know that Armageddon derived from Megiddo. So as I grew older, I'm able to put these things together and determine that Megiddo is an actual place.
And can I just say that as you're sharing that with us, uh, I have to say that growing up, um, very near that place, and um, I've never heard of that. I've never heard of the term Megiddo or the place Megiddo. I never knew that yet, Armageddon meant, Megiddo. Like, it was all new to me. You came, and visited Israel, and you told me about Megiddo. And I was like, Megiddo, what is this? And I discovered it together with you.
Tell our audience how far Megiddo is actually from where you live.
Well, from where I live, it's just 1 hour away. It's 50 kilometers, which is, I think, 36 miles away from where I live.
36 miles away. So that's just
Just
right
one
down the
hour.
street. That's basically right down the street. So
Yeah.
you've basically had Megiddo in your neighborhood all your life, but you never knew the Christian um,
Yes.
significance of this area. Now, I put together a very small slideshow, and I want to just kind of talk about this slideshow a little bit, but time is very limited. So I will go kind of fast as to not to eat up all of our time. And I'll jump into the slideshow. But before I jump into the slideshow, there's an image I have on the screen. I just threw this together, so it's nothing really high end that we really need to focus on. But if you could just focus on this area here. So it's the center area. I don't know if you can see this. Yeah, there. Yeah, I'm on the screen. This center area here. This is a hill, and if I am not mistaken, the word tel in Hebrew, tel, does that mean hill or mountain?
Yes, it means hill. Hill.
It means hill. So if
Yes.
you can see this area here, it is on a hill. So the area is actually called Tel Megiddo. If
That's
you go
true.
to Israel, you will hear Tel Megiddo. You won't just hear
Yes.
Megiddo, you will hear Tel Megiddo. And as you can see, it is a hill, and this hill has a bit of significance as well. Well, the reason why this hill has the significance that it does is because it gives you a 360-degree view of the valley. Now, this valley is called, and this valley was actually called out in the movie, the horror movie, The Omen, as the Valley of Jezreel.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the actual name of that
Right.
valley. So we are looking at the Valley of Jezreel on this image, and I apologize for covering it with with lettering, but this is very impromptu. But I believe we get the idea of what we're looking at. So this is the Valley of Jezreel, and this is the mountaintop that looks down in a 360-degree view. Now, why is it important? Because Tel Megiddo, during its time, during its time and from a Christian perspective in the future, but in its time, it was a major stopping point for troops that were moving from the north to the south, east to the west. So this was a major stopping point for travelers, soldiers, and many of the ancient people of this region. So it was
All
a
right.
major uh, uh, um, depot stopping point for that. Plus, it was also a major battleground for many of the armies that came up through the centuries. Now, this is not a history lesson. I'm not a history expert, but if you want more insight, just Wikipedia that location. So let's
So
jump into the slideshow, if you don't mind. Any
let
questions?
let me just ask you a question before
Yeah,
we jump into it. What does it mean for you, this place? Like, how, I know this is a place that you've been telling me, I have to see Megiddo before
yeah,
you came to
yeah.
Israel first. And, coming to Megiddo, what did it mean for you?
Oh, very good question. This place was just as significant for me as it as the experience at the West Wall was for me.
Wow.
Both locations
Yeah.
touched me in a profound way. That was, I would say, a bucket list item. You know, a lot of people want to climb these high mountains for
Yeah.
their bucket list. No, Megiddo, Tel Megiddo, the West Wall, and other areas of the Middle East are a part of my bucket list. So it was very touching to me to actually stand on those grounds, to actually touch those walls, to
Yeah.
actually uh, play with the soil, knowing that throughout the years, this area was so important from a historical perspective. So to me, it was just as profound as standing at the West Wall. And I
Wow.
will never forget that experience. Hopefully, one day when I move to Israel, I can too say, "Hey, Megiddo is just right down the road. I'm going to take a hike. I'm going to
And
take a
you can
jog
just
down
go
there."
whenever you want. All
Yes,
right.
absolutely. So, and believe me, that's something that I actually look forward to.
Great.
So let's get into the slideshow. I'm rambling, so let's get into the slideshow. So if you can do me a favor, I'm just going to go through a couple items here. This is the very first thing that I noticed when walking onto the property. Now, Tel Megiddo and the areas surrounding that area, it's kind of like visiting a state park. Any other state park that's an area that's protected by the government. It gets many tourists. Many tourist
Yeah.
caravans visit this location. Tour buses are everywhere, so it's a very commercial place. The ruins are there, and you do get that authentic feel that you are in some place significant. But there's a museum, there's a gift shop, and there's a restaurant and things like that. It's commercialized. So this is the very first thing that I saw. Now, I want to point out a piece of this article. Well, I'm calling it an article of of this this inscription that really kind of solidifies why this place is so important to Christians. So, my dear, if you could do me the honors, because my eyes are so
You want
bad
me
I
to
can't
read?
really see it. Read that off for the audience, please.
Sure. Megiddo is also mentioned in many biblical narratives. Its king was one of the Canaanite rulers defeated by Joshua. It is listed among the cities built by King Solomon, and it was a site where two Judahite kings, Judahite, I don't know if you say it like that, Ahaziah and Josiah, met their deaths. For millions of Christians, Megiddo is the Armageddon of St. John's Revelation, where the forces of good will defeat the forces of evil in the final battle at the end of days.
Thank you.
Wow.
The last four lines are
This is
the
prophetic.
foundation.
This is
It's the foundation of
yeah,
everything that I've heard my entire life. Again, in a
final
previous
battle.
show,
Yeah.
I mentioned that my grandmother,
Yes.
who was raised me born in 1910. This is all she talked about. So I've known about this um, this prediction or philosophy or how or this text of the Holy Bible all my life, but to go to Tel Megiddo to see this, I wasn't expecting this at all. But this
I
is why
wasn't
millions of
expecting
people
either.
visit.
I wasn't expecting either, and I learned a lot with you, and I think it was a wonderful experience. Yeah.
Absolutely. So this is why millions of people go to Tel Megiddo. So moving on. Now this is just a snapshot. Not very many snapshots I have listed here, but just one of the pictures that I took. That we took, many pictures that we took that just kind of show the ruins, how things are intact. I hope I don't get in trouble with this, but I did pick up a rock,
Yes, you did.
and and I and I
You
did
did.
something with
I
that
knew.
rock, yes, it felt really good
Yeah.
handling that rock and just handling that soil. I really got felt really special being there and just being a part of the environment. So those are just some of the ruins there, and some stairs, some ancient stairs. Everything is still intact for the most
Yeah.
part. That's
It
exactly
was
how that.
basically a place where people lived. So we got to see, the chambers and where they kept, the horses and
Absolutely, absolutely.
a whole community living there.
Now, remind me, walking around these grounds, what did I see on the ground? It was just so many of them. Was it ants? It was
Oh
there were
yeah,
little insects everywhere on this
almost
ground.
like caterpillars. They looked like caterpillars.
Caterpillars,
They were.
yeah, caterpillars everywhere.
Yeah.
Just millions of them everywhere. So I thought that was quite unusual. On these grounds, but I'm not surprised. Definitely, you were a little bit worried a couple times with me walking around because the gravel is very loose and you can
Yeah.
fall and hurt yourself. So you have to be very careful walking around these grounds.
Yes. Yes, we had to.
That's me right there between two pillars, walking through some
That's right.
ancient gates.
You really feel
That's you on the grounds
the
as well.
majestic place there. Like,
Exactly, and that's me doing a little act on one of the little structures there. I don't
yeah.
think that structure was from ancient times. I think that was just something that was put in
Yes.
modern times. But there
Yeah.
were stables, there were horses and carriages
Right.
on this area. So that's me showing off a little bit. Now, because this area was a strategic area, there are a lot of subterranean tunnels on these grounds. These tunnels were there for provisions, transporting provisions, moving troops, moving water, and things like that. And they're quite deep, and they're quite steep, and they're frankly they're a little bit scary. So you and I we made our way down through here, and I'll just leave it at that. It was an experience for you.
Yes, it
But,
was. I
but
was just scared to go down the stairs. I have this fear of how do you call
this is
this?
this is very steep, man. Very steep.
Yeah,
So I
I
mean, this
basically
is
went down the stairs on my butt.
yes,
I,
yes.
that's
Very scary. I would not recommend you doing it by yourself because anything could happen. So definitely, if you go to Tel Megiddo and you visit these sites, make sure that you partner up with someone that can you can watch each other's back
yeah,
because you can
correct.
if a tumble down these stairs would cause some serious damage. So definitely, if you have claustrophobia, please do not attempt that. So let's keep going here. So when I mention this is our point of view of on top of the hill there, as you can see, we're overlooking the Valley of Jezreel. We have a clear view for miles. Back thousands of years ago, you would want that vantage point. You would want to see that. You would want to see the armies
Yes.
assembling against you, um, coming from all directions, and you had a perfect field of view, as you can see. This is another view from that from the on top of the mountain there,
Beautiful.
and again, as you can see
I can
pretty
see
much
from
everything.
far away whoever is coming. That's probably why, they chose that place, because they
Uh,
were elevated and they could, strategically see, who was going to be, attacking or whatever, who was coming home.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is the museum area here, and part of the museum is a scale model of how the fort would have actually looked. This was an actual fort, and this is just a scaled model, miniaturized model of the layout there. There's also a tour guide that takes you in. We had the opportunity to kind of listen to the tour guide's
Yeah.
um, presentation, and it was very thorough, very
Very
well laid
informative.
out.
Yep.
And but of course, this is a part of the Christian tribal groups that visit Israel every year. This is a part of the route. This is on the route, and not only that, we were hearing talk about, well, we're here now, and tomorrow we're going to be in Jerusalem, or
Yeah.
tomorrow we're going to be in Caesarea. So these tour groups take all the bus loads of visitors from all over the world to these um, historical sites. So not just Tel Megiddo, but many of the historical sites around Israel. So it's a real treat. Not only that, I believe there dinner is involved. They go to different restaurants in the area. They visit the location. So it's almost a full
It's a full
spectrum type
day.
of
It's
trip.
a full,
You know,
yeah.
they're fed. They have great hotels,
Oh
and they
yeah.
get to visit these sites. So the package deals are awesome. And
We did.
speaking of Megiddo, so Megiddo, it's not all gloom and doom. When we were leaving, and I think we had spent quite a bit of time there, but we were hungry when we left. So we,
Yeah.
and of course, Megiddo is like any other suburban city. So we googled a restaurant. We wanted steak. We found a
Ooh, I'm
steakhouse, and as
hungry.
you can see, the
Yeah.
service was excellent. I forget the name of this place. Um,
Limousine, I think.
okay, okay, I'll
Something.
go with that.
Yeah.
First class staff, first class establishment, ultra modern, excellent food.
Good
This is
service.
a good
Very nice.
service in Megiddo. So Megiddo's a modern place as well. You
Yeah.
you have the ruins, but
It
it
was
is like any
delicious.
other city.
We'll
So the
have to
food
go
was
back
excellent.
because I'm
Absolutely.
hungry now.
First class service all the way there. And
Yeah.
and again, just to bring this presentation to a close, that's another view of the area without all the graphics. And it was a
And
great
it's
experience for us.
absolutely beautiful. Also,
Absolutely.
just going there, traveling there, driving. Um, the north of Israel is really, it's taking you. It's different, because you used to hear of Israel, the nice beaches and or Jerusalem or anything like that. But when you go up north, you feel like you're somewhere else completely, almost not in Israel. And
Absolutely.
I really recommend it. But tell me a little bit about the final battle. I'd like to understand that. The end of days. It's
Well,
actually not very familiar to me.
well, this is not a religious show, and I don't want to say anything controversial, but I
In
can
general.
share with you, I can share with you, I can share with you what I've been told, as a kid growing up, and studies that I've done within on my own, and basically. Israel is the epicenter of the world for the most part, and I think you and I have kind of shared that um, during our conversations. How when we visit Israel, especially specifically Jerusalem, there's an energy that surrounds that
Right.
city. There's an energy that you instantly feel when you walk through, the gates of the old city. Not only that, there's energy around the entire city as you enter, as you pass the Jerusalem forest. There's energy, and that energy, it's almost mentally radiating from every aspect of of that city, and you get the feeling that it is the epicenter of the world. So with that being said, um, from a christian perspective from a Christian perspective, during the and again, I don't want to use words like end times or things like that. These are words that I don't want to use, but there will be a major. I'll put it to this way: from a modernistic perspective, there will be a campaign, a prophetic. This is all prophecy based, of course,
Okay.
not
Yep.
factual, but prophecy based. Um, that there will be a major campaign of nations going against Israel in the near future. And those armies will gather at Megiddo. I'll leave it that way. From
Okay.
a prophetic point of view, Megiddo will again be the epicenter of the final battle between good and evil.
Okay.
That is from a Christian perspective, and that is what was actually indicated on that plaque. So basically, what we read on that plaque is what I've been told all my life.
I understand.
And again, I know these subjects can be controversial, so I'll just kind of just skim the top of that a little bit.
Okay.
But
This is a prophecy, like you said, and sometimes prophecies, can become, reality. With the situation now in Israel, we kind of see it happening. Um, so we have to,
this is what I like to say.
I don't want to
Well,
talk about right now about what's
well, this
happening.
is but
Yes.
this is our show, and we're in a relationship, and
Yeah.
I feel your pain, every bit of hurt, every bit of disappointment, every bit of fear, every bit of uncertainty that you feel. I feel every bit of it because we're linked in that regard. And but from a humanistic point of view, I and this is my own opinion from a humanistic point of view, I don't condone any loss of life, and I would and I wish wholeheartedly that we could all just put the
Yeah.
guns down, have a conversation, work things out, and focus on life and not death. And that's just from my own perspective.
Absolutely. That should be our life goal. Absolutely.
Absolutely. So before again, this was the Megiddo show. This may be a bit of a short show. I'm not really keeping time today, but before we close out, was there anything inspirational you wanted to put out to our audience? Any spoken word you had ready to go, or is that something that we may want to pick back up on our next show? I want our audience to know that you are heavily involved in 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 your writings. I call it
Yes.
poetry, and it's a part of your life, and you it's an outlet for you. It's a comfort for you. So I want people to know that under the Swancentric Media umbrella, look forward to receiving content that spoken word content. Look forward to receiving and being informed about all things media related. I'm a videographer. You're a photographer. You're also a poet and an artist. So the Swancentric Media umbrella encompasses all. So with that being said, keep in mind our audience, our dear audience, keep in mind that our platform will reflect our innovation and versatility. Our platform is just not one platform that just focuses on relationships. It focuses on many other aspects of our relationship, from the things that we enjoy doing. You may even receive a cooking show at one point. So keep in mind that Swancentric, our brand is all about love and revelations, and
Yeah,
and that's a gazillion things in life. So we want to bring you, and we want to inspire others
that's what it
to
is.
yeah,
To
we
inspire,
want to inspire others, right? To innovate,
to
to
create.
create, to
Yeah.
think of. And there's no such thing as a bad idea. So we plan on bringing you more content, but the content will be all things media related.
Well, yes, absolutely, I agree with that. And out of any situation, as we were talking about, what's happening here in Israel, we got to continue to create, and out of um, anything, I want to call it bad or good, something is going to come out. And if it's in writing, if it's in posting a podcast, or and anything at all that is close to your heart,
Right.
you got to continue on doing, and that's what we're doing right now. I've been, writing. I will always continue on writing, and we posted one of my first spoken word in French. I did not have the time to put the translation, but you should check it out. It was produced by my brother, who is also a videographer.
Tell us
And
again, where can we see that video? I saw it and was blown away. Tell our audience how we can view that video.
No, I was talking about my video that I did, the spoken word. You're
Okay,
talking about what he did with the
correct.
dancers. Hopefully, very soon. I
Okay,
will.
okay. We may be able to tap into our
Yes.
site to view your brother's content.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I want the world to see it. Beautiful, beautiful. You did a great job.
Excellent. And please subscribe. Subscribe to our channel. Give us a like, and we will be there. We will be there next week for another great show.
Absolutely. And on that note, you have to get to work. So
Yes, I
thank you,
do.
everybody, for joining us. We look forward to seeing you in just a few more days. We'll catch you. We'll catch you next Friday or next Saturday for another adventurous show.
Hey.
Stay tuned.
Okay. Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.